that's you. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, stop me. 4 takes, that's you. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, you got me.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Cobb and Dash Show. Today is a different look. You just got me. No Cobb and no Alex this week. It's just the Dash part of the show. So it's just call it the BL Plus Dash Show today. I think it's better that way anyway. But yeah, so we have one person live right now in the not in the comments, but there's one of the 12 owners is watching, or I guess one of the 11. But Cobb's on vacation. Alex is resting his back for basketball tonight. So I understand that. Letting the guys have a day off. But yeah, so obviously we had a pretty exciting week last week in the BL Plus. We had Tasia take home the high score. I took home the low score of the week, which happened Monday night after Tasia reverse jinxed me on the group message saying that Drake London sucks, and Drake London caught a touchdown pass. And then I became the low score of the week. Yaglu beating me. So Yaglu coming in without Jordan Love and taking home a dub. So I will be chugging today. Later on, you'll get a video on the Facebook page tonight. Yaglu and I will be chugging our alcohol with each other. He has to pay up for last week, and I had to pay up for this week. And also, too, we're waiting for Hotch to send over his video because apparently he had a bet with Yaglu about Geno Smith and Jaden Daniels, and Hodge said that he would chug a brew or a beer or seltzer of any kind if Jaden Daniels if Geno Smith outscored Jaden Daniels, and Geno Smith did outscore Jaden Daniels. So Hodge was wrong, Yaglu was right. So there, not only did Yaglu beat me, he also is making 2 people chug this week. So congratulations to Michael Yaglu. But usually we start off the Cobb and Dash Show with 3 takeaways from week 1 or from the previous week. So my 3 takeaways this week are: 1, I want to give props to Zach Barrage. He came in, ZB came in. A lot of people didn't think he could do it, but he came in this week strong. Had the 3rd highest score of the week, 4th highest score of the week. But, a lot of people think, last week I think everybody on the show was like, yeah, he's, his team's not that good. He's not going to put up much without a quarterback. I think I was the one who said it. Without a quarterback, he's not going to do much. But I'll tell you what, with the quarterback getting a 6, he still somehow scored 137. So that speaks volumes about how good his team is. And I said his team is deep. It is. Devontae Adams, 22 last week. James Cook, 27 on the Thursday night. George Kittle, 18. James Conner, 19. DJ Moore, 10. Zach Charbonnet, 16. So, yeah, I mean, his team, like I said, top to bottom, it's a fantastic team, phenomenal. And, he did 137.4 with a quarterback scoring a 6. So let's give the guy, some kudos here. The other person I want to give a shout out to, or the big takeaway that I saw, is my guy, Lil Jack. He came in, had a really phenomenal game, scoring a 137.5. He's 3rd in the league. He's 2-0. He, put a little smack down on Cobb. Cobb's now 0-2. So that's not really a takeaway. We'll get to that later on the show. But Kyler Murray, a draft day trade that he literally made with Hodge. Great move. I mean, did take Isaiah Pacheco did get hurt and he's out for the foreseeable future, but Kyler Murray played great. So 35 from him, and then Max Crosby 14 on defense, and A-Chain, which I thought that was a terrible keep, but no, he got a 27, and he's looking great so far. So kudos to Lil J. And then, obviously, Tasia won the high score, so I don't really need to go into that. It's not really a take there. The thing I got to say is the big takeaway for me for week 2 is my guy, Hotch. Hotch came in and, he said he was rebuilding, and it looks like he's not rebuilding anymore. He scores. He's 2-0, and he obviously beat Adam, and Adam's really not doing much this year with his injuries that he has, and I feel bad for the guy. But, even with that, he still put up a 111. He had a pretty solid score considering some of his guys didn't play last week. But got to give it to Hotch. A rebuilding type team. He comes in, scores gets 2-0 this week. Goes to 2-0, scoring 133, solid score. He didn't really get much from his quarterback. He got a 0 from one of his flexes and still comes out with a win. Give him credit for that. That also he makes trades this week. And we can kind of go to the trades that he made. He made 2 trades, big one. So he traded, who did he trade? He traded Xavier Worthy, Jonathan Brooks, Jaden Daniels, and Jordan Mason for Brandon Cooks, Puka Nacua, and Kirk Cousins. So really it was just for Puka. And then right away, he trades Puka and Keon Coleman for Jamar Chase. So he flips Puka for Jamar Chase. Interesting. Really interesting since he traded Jamar Chase during the offseason. But, you know, he had to trade a lot to get him. So, and they also draft picks, which I'm not even going to go with the draft picks. But, yeah, I gotta give props to Hotch, you know. 2-0. I think he sees it's an opportunity right now where that he can kind of jump on. I don't know if he's still rebuilding and taking it a year off, or he's going to try to jump in right now. So I still don't know because his team it's not bad, but it's not like a team. I mean, still got Bucky Irving in his starting lineup. So that's where it's like, okay, are you rebuilding still, or what are we doing here? And he still has Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams looks god awful. So I don't know what his plan is, but right now it's not a bad team. So kudos to him for doing what he's done this year. So good for him. So yeah, those are my 3 takeaways from week 2. Now we're going to get into the week 2 predictions, and I'll be going over every matchup. So be prepared to hear a full show of me talking to you guys. So it's good practice for my podcast when I have to do solos. So yeah. All right. So guys, we're going to go our first matchup, which is our first seed. And our first seed is none other than my brother, Tasia, who has really flipped the CP team that he got, and now he's 2-0. He's the first seed, and he's going against Yaglu this week, and which should be a good one. I think people are sleeping on Yaglu's team a little bit. I was sleeping on it. I think all of us on the show were sleeping on it last week, but I think Yaglu's has a chance to upset anybody. I will say, but he's 1-1, and he's going against Tasia 2-0. So let's begin. It's the 1-8 matchup. So the first round of basketball playoffs. Okay, so Jalen Hurts against New Orleans, Geno Smith against Miami. New Orleans has been playing phenomenal. Jalen Hurts has been pretty good so far this year, but I got to say, based on what we saw last week with Geno and looking at what Miami did last week when they played against Josh Allen, I think I might lean Geno Smith here, and also Jalen Hurts in that team. They don't have A.J. Brown. Their vertical passing game was non-existent last week. And New Orleans is looking pretty good. So I'm going to give an upset here. I go Geno Smith over Jalen Hurts in this first matchup, QB versus QB. All right, so we got Tyreek Hill against Seattle. So that's where it is. So, Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson. So all eyes are going to be looking at that Dolphins and Seahawks game. Tyreek Hill for Tasia, Geno Smith for Yaglu. So 4 o'clock, look at that game, guys. Seattle and Miami. Miami at Seattle. So it'll be a tricky one for Miami. But Tyreek Hill against Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, while he was banged up during that last week's game, it looks like he's probably going to play this weekend. And he also guaranteed this week that he will suit up. So Justin Jefferson will be playing this week, which is huge for Yaglu. I'm going to go ahead and give Justin Jefferson a big-time edge over Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill with Skylar Thompson will not be doing much. So that really takes a big hit to what Tasia has cooking up in his Runaway McBride squad. But then we go Breece Hall tonight against New England, Derrick Henry versus Dallas. I'm going to go Derrick Henry here. Breece Hall, we saw last week that the backup, Braylon Allen, came on out of nowhere. No one thought that was happening. And he lost some touches there. And, it looks like Breece Hall may not be the guy after all. Looks like it was kind of a timeshare over there. New England's defense pretty solid. They've been really stout against the run this year. And then Derrick Henry, he looked like second half of that game last week, came out strong and looks like the guy. And I know Yaglu texted me during the games ago. I think that was a big mistake. So I think I'm going to give Derrick Henry so far 3-0 for Yaglu over Tasia in this matchup. Okay, then we got Trey McBride versus Cole Kmet. I'm not even going to go really hard on this one. Trey McBride wins this one pretty easily. Not even going to have to go much with that one. Travis Etienne versus Devontae Smith. I'm going to go Devontae Smith. Without A.J. Brown, literally Jalen Hurts only went to him last week. Nobody else got the ball. I mean, Dallas Goedert barely got any touches. Devontae Smith's a guy. We're going to go Devontae Smith big time over Travis Etienne. Etienne so far looks kind of suspect so far. And Jacksonville overall looks horrible. So I'm not really trusting that team. You got Rashee Rice, Terry McLaurin. Give me Rashee Rice against Atlanta. Without Pacheco, we're going to have a very pass-heavy offense in Kansas City this week, and then for the foreseeable future, I think. But yeah, you'll see a short passing game for Rashee Rice and Kelsey. Both those guys will come alive this week, so I think Rashee Rice is a huge game. Chris Godwin versus Devin Singletary. Give me Chris Godwin. Godwin, Baker's been loving him so far this year. I mean, like that Rams passing attack with Cooper Kupp they had with Liam Cohen over there, and who's now the OC in Tampa. they're really giving that Godwin that Cooper Kupp role, and he's been phenomenal so far this year. So, and so far injury free, so that's great. And I think Rashee Rice and Godwin have been like pretty much the same guy this year as far as being like targeted as much as they have target hogs. And I love what I love that. So I will say, look at this matchup. It's a pretty close matchup. I'm going to go upset this week. I'm going to go Yaglu takes out Tasia in upset of the week with the 8 seed beating the 1 seed. Tasia's team, while it is 2-0, while it's a juggernaut leading the league in points, this is the squad. This is the match of the week that I'm going to say you're going to see an upset here. So I think Yaglu takes it upon himself to win. So tonight's a big night just to see what Breece Hall does against New England. So I think that there's a quiet game there. I think we got a shot of an upset with Yaglu. So give me Yaglu to grind this one out, 128 to 118. Yaglu, baby. I love that. I really do like that matchup a lot. So yeah, Yaglu, good job, buddy. All right, next up we got Cobb's IR spot. Stu going up against Hotch this week, and Hotch and him just made a deal. And he gave a lot of good guys on his team to Hotch gave a lot of guys to Stu traded Puka, and now Puka is not playing for Hotch's team. He's playing for Roden's team, and that Jamar Chase is on Hotch's team now. So that trade that he did with Hotch, that these two did with each other, kind of, changed up both their skeletons of their team going into this week. So let's go here. So Stu, right now so far, it's undefeated during an election year. This is pretty unheard of. He never really does this. This is not his kind of thing. But him doing what he's doing in an election year for Stu is unheard of. He's never done this before. He's usually a team that's floundering, fighting out of the Pancake King spot during this time. During this, like every 4 years, and this is the 4th year, and this is a year he should be down and out. But right now he's on top of the world. His team's looking great, so we're gonna get into it. But we're gonna go first. We have 2 quarterbacks who have been like pretty awful. Anthony Richardson looked like shit last week. First week he looked great, got a 30. Then last week against Green Bay, he looked really bad. I mean, I was watching some of the morning shows that like apparently anonymous GMs are saying how bad he looks, and yeah, and then. Caleb Williams and Mahash knows. I mean, we talked about in the group message. Oh, by the way, give a shout out to BL Plus group chat this week. We created that over the weekend. It's been a success so far, smashing success. So good job for everyone for bringing that to my attention, to really adding that to really ignite what's going on in this league. So I really love that. But I'm gonna go wash here. I think Richardson against Chicago's defense, which has been great. I don't see him doing much. And then on the other hand, Caleb Williams against Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a tough place to play. Caleb Williams looks like dog shit, and I don't see that changing anytime soon because that O-line is – I will say the O-line sucks, but Colts, Buckner is out for the year or on IR for the time being, so that's not going to matter as much. So he might have more time to throw the ball. But, yeah, I think it's a wash. I don't really see either one of these guys. I can see these guys both getting like 16s this week at best. So next match, we got Mike Evans for Stu, Jalen Waddle for Hotch. Give me Mike Evans. Give me Baker Mayfield. Give me the whole Buccaneers offense. I love that team so much. They're going to be key this year. I called during the offseason. I had them win the division. They're the 3rd highest odds to win the division. But they have a little battle with New Orleans right now because everyone's loving them. But give me Mike Evans this week against Denver. Connor Williams against San Francisco. Bucky Irving against Denver. Well, I said I love the entire Bucs offense. I don't love the backup running back for the Bucs. I do think Bucky Irving will take over at some point. Rashad White is not talented enough. Bucky Irving is talented, but at some point, Bucky Irving will be the guy. But right now, he's not the guy. And Kyron Williams is dominating, and San Francisco looks like shit. So Kyron Williams, give me that. Give me that matchup all day, every day. Sam Laporta versus Brock Bowers. I'm gonna go. I think I have to go. I think I have to go Sam Laporta here. Although Brock Bowers has been solid. I think Sam Laporta's looked like shit so far. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sam Laporta, I think Detroit's gonna get back to establishing the run, and they're gonna get back to doing the play action passes to give the ball to Sam Laporta. I think Detroit's gonna come out strong this weekend. Well, at least I think Sam Laporta's gonna come out strong this weekend. I don't know if Detroit's gonna win this game, but I do think they're gonna go back to the basics, which is run the ball, then play action passes to their tight end to Amon-Ra St. Brown. They kind of gotten away from doing what they do best. And it's no coincidence they look like shit, and Sam Laporta has done nothing. So I think Laporta is going to get the ball big time this week. So watch that. Sam Laporta over Brock Bowers. DK Metcalf versus CeeDee Lamb. You got 2 guys who are questionable right now, and they both have not practiced at all this week. Actually, CeeDee Lamb did. He took part in practice. He was limited. I'm going to go, give me, just to be quick on this one, I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb over DK Metcalf. Kamara, who's been phenomenal over JSN with Hodge. Give me Kamara. I think has been amazing. The Kamara looks like the Kamara I lost to in the championship years back, not the Kamara I had last year. So that's really unfortunate for myself, but love Kamara in this spot. Jordan Mason against the Rams, Jamar Chase against the Redskins, Commanders. I think Jamar Chase, as long as that whole thing's pending over his head with the contract negotiations, I mean, he's getting arguments with the refs. T. Higgins coming back this week, it may help him, and Washington's secondary looks like shit. And I know every fantasy expert saying Jamar Chase. I like volume. I like Shanahan getting back to the basics, getting the ball to Jordan Mason, and I like Jordan Mason in the spot. I think this is an easy one. I think Stu wins this one pretty handily. Hodge gets his first loss of the year, and we begin to see if Pancake King is in his future. So give me Stu here, 135 to Hodge's 108. I think Stu wins big time this week. So that's where I have it. All right, so next matchup. We got, who is this? This is the 3 spot. This is our guy, Lil J. Lil J is going against ZB, a 3-7 matchup. Ooh, this is fun. I love this. All right, so let's begin here. So Kyler Murray against Detroit or Sam Darnold against Houston. Detroit, looking suspect. Sam Darnold's looking pretty key in the dome, at home against Houston. Houston's given up pretty much every good numbers to, well, they should have given up good numbers to Chicago last week. They did not. However, A-Rich did dominate Houston. So Kyler Murray's been great so far this year. It's a tough one. I'm going to go Kyler Murray, actually. I'm going to go Kyler Murray. I think Detroit gives up another big whopper to a quarterback. Baker dominated last week. I think another Oklahoma quarterback's going to dominate this week. So give me Kyler Murray with a win over Sam Darnold in this one. Devontae Adams versus George Pickens. Come on. This is a real thing. Devontae Adams against Carolina, the worst secondary, the worst team in the league. Devontae Adams is going to cook. He was cooking last week. He's going to continue to cook. He's going to whip up something nice for ZB here in this one. James Cook and Devon Achane, 2 guys who dominated in the Thursday night game last week. Tough one here. Seattle's got a really solid defense. I mean, Skylar Thompson's so bad, and I think they're just going to stack the box and not let Achane beat them and then let Skylar Thompson throw. That's what I would do. I'm going James Cook all day, every day. James Cook looks phenomenal. So give me James Cook. I'll take that one. James Cook over Achane. George Kittle versus Mark Andrews. Give me George Kittle. George Kittle, I mean, he's looking like George Kittle of old. No CMC, no Debo. It's going to be George Kittle all day long, all catches every day. Give me George Kittle. James Conner, Brian Thomas Jr., James Conner, he's been great. Anyone who passed on James Conner should be ashamed of themselves. He did great. He's been amazing so far this year. Contract year, if they're not going to re-sign him, they're going to give him the ball all day long. So great pick by ZB, man. Really, and to do that remotely too, you got to give the guy props. You got to give the guy big-time props here for that pick. Then DJ Moore, Stephon Diggs. Give me DJ Moore. Right now, it looks like he's been the only guy that Caleb Williams is throwing to, although I think Keenan Allen's playing this week. Rome is going to be healthier another week of health, so I think he'll be all right this week. And then, I think DJ Moore wins that one pretty easily. And then Jameson Williams, who's been a big part of the reason why they're not going to Sam Laporta and guys like that, it's because they're hitting Jameson Williams over the top big time. So far this year. I think James Williams is going to come out and continue to do what he's been doing over the past few weeks, being a solid flex, 20 and 12 back-to-back weeks. I mean, he's the guy they drafted, man. I mean, this is what they've been waiting for, and he's healthy and he's ready to rock. Juwan Jennings, on the other hand, while he is going to be the wide receiver 2 this week, he's not Debo, so he's not going to put up Debo numbers. If you're expecting that, ain't happening. Give me Jameson Williams. Give me JMO. Give me ZB in this one with a big upset. This is upset central, guys. I don't know if you noticed that. It's kind of a trend here. The upsets are happening this week. Well, actually, not last one because we had Stu winning that. But nonetheless, upset. ZB beats Lil J. Give me Stu. All right, give me ZB. Give me 127 over Lil J, 118. Big time. I love that one. ZB, baby. Good solid squad so far this year, man. I'm really proud of you. Okay, so we got the 4. Okay, we did 4 already, so now we're going to the 5th seed. 5th seed, my co-host. Okay, Alex. Giving 69ers a try versus Tutu can scoot. Yeah, Tutu can scoot, man. Roden needs to change his team name. So Tutu can scoot needs to scoot that team name out of here. And he needs to scoot listening to Hotch for pre-draft analysis out of here. And also, he needs to scoot fucking trading Hotch his assets and then trading back those guys and trading those guys back to Hotch. So he needs to scoot a lot of shit out of his head. I love you, Roden. You're my guy. But we need to change up. Next offseason, we need to do a lot of tinkering. We need to tinker your team name. We need to tinker with how much you listen to Hotch. Yeah, I mean, that's what we need to do a lot of things. But for right now, let's start with those things. And right now, we're going to get to brass tacks. let's get to this matchup here. So CJ Stroud versus Minnesota. Minnesota's defense has been looking pretty good. Brian Flores has got those guys humming over there. Josh Allen, Jacksonville. Josh Allen's been great. Give me Josh Allen to start this thing off. Tank Dell and Nico Collins. Tank Dell's been kind of weak. Let's be honest here. I mean, this is not the guy that Alex was hoping for. He wanted to stack, and the stack he really should have wanted was the Nico Collins. Although Nico Collins is a limited participant this week, I think Nico Collins is going to be fine. It'll be great. So give me Nico Collins over Tank Dell. I think Alex is definitely regretting. I'm regretting keeping Hollywood Brown. I'm regretting doing that trade in the first place. But yeah, if I'm Alex, I'm definitely upset about Tank Dell. 9 through 2 weeks, not the stack he wanted. And that's when I was talking about stack A's and stack B's. This is a stack C potentially, guys. This isn't even a stack B. This is really bad. So I feel bad for Alex. Not really. Saquon Barkley at New Orleans. DeAndre Swift at Indianapolis. DeAndre Swift's horrible. So give me Saquon Barkley. It's not even close. Jacob Ferguson's probably going to play this week. So that's solid. Dalton Kincaid, man. I'm not feeling this guy. I hated the pick. Obviously, last week, game script, they were killing them, so they didn't really have to throw the ball the second half of the game. But, man, I really hated that pick on draft day, and I'm hating it even more now. Give me Jacob Ferguson, even though this guy hasn't played, and he should play this week, though. I'm pretty sure he's going to play. He's trending in that direction. Give me Jacob Ferguson, man. It's a no-brainer, to be quite honest with you. Jonathan Taylor against Chicago, Malik Neighbors versus Cleveland. Oh, okay, well, this is one of the picks I dogged for where he drafted this guy. This guy could have gone second, third round, but he drafted him right away. Neighbors is solid. Jonathan Taylor has not looked good. Let's just be honest. A 10 and a 14. This is not. You didn't trade your high pick for this guy to get 10s and 14s. Chicago's got a solid defense. Chicago really has played great. Outside of everything offensively, they've done amazing this year. And I think we're going to continue that. Going to keep that rolling. So give me Malik Neighbors in this matchup. I think Giants are just going to continue to lose games, continue to be down, and continue to throw the ball to Malik Neighbors all day long. I don't see anything wrong with that, do you? Next match, we got Aaron Jones versus Demarcus Robinson. I'm not going to say much on this one. Aaron Jones. Jacob Dobbins, Keon Coleman. Give me Jacob Dobbins. While I am rooting for Roden to win this game, and when you have Josh Allen, anything can happen. I do think Alex wins this game. I think it's going to be a very close, tightly contested game. So give me Alex on a 134 to 125 win. I just think Keon Coleman's – I think we're relying too much on this Buffalo Bills stack. And I like it. You got Keon Coleman. You got Dalton Kincaid. I mean, hey, if you're going to go down with a ship, let's go down with the stack, a little trip stack. And I love stacks. I love trip stacks. So, yeah, but I just think there's too much more talent on the other side of this matchup. But, hey, Nico Collins and CJ Stroud might cancel shit out, so that could be key. And, you got that on the other hand. But I'm going to go Alex here, 134, 125. So, Alex gets another win, and Roden loses again. My guy, Roden, poor guy. Okay, now we're going to his sixth spot. Where's sixth spot? All right, guys. These are two teams. This is my team. This is Adam's team. There's two teams that are reeling. And when I say reeling, I mean reeling. Between the two teams, you have, and I'm not going to say the guys who are, I'll even mention the guys who are questionable who are probably not going to play. Man, this is terrible. Okay, Keenan Allen. Kenneth Walker didn't play last week. I don't know if he's going to play this week. Let's see. Kenneth Walker remains out. Kenneth Walker, Keenan Allen, CMC, AJ Brown, Hollywood Brown, Deebo Samuel, Jordan Addison. Is he practicing? Let's see. He's limited at practice at least. No, he's not. That's Tyler Lockett. Wow. I mean, there's so many guys who are out between these two teams, and it's actually really depressing to look at this. Joe Mixon's not playing either, I don't think. Not practicing Thursday. Amazing. This is going to be what we're looking at in this match. There's two teams that look like these teams should be like week 15, but really we're in week 3 right now. It was just pretty pathetic and pretty sad, to be quite honest with you. I don't like it. I want nothing to do with it, but here I am. But right now I'm 1-1. I'm in the 6th spot. I'm going against Adam, who is 0-2, 9th place without his guys, and this is not good for Adam. Not good for me, but at least I have a win to kind of lean back on a little bit, but. Nonetheless, we'll go to it. So Patrick Mahomes versus Dak Prescott. Patrick Mahomes versus Atlanta. Dak Prescott versus Baltimore. I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes here against Atlanta. Atlanta was susceptible last week to a lot against Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts had a really good game against them. They were one of the highest scoring quarterbacks last week. Atlanta, I will say, Mahomes playing in a dome. Mahomes' stats in a dome are pretty superior. No Pacheco, so I think we're going to throw a lot. So we might have a vintage Mahomes performance. I'm hoping, because if he doesn't, I'm just going to go to Baker for the time being. But Patrick Mahomes, I think, wins this matchup over Dak Prescott. Keenan Allen versus Drake London. Now, Keenan Allen, I don't know if he's going to play. Drake London is going to be going against Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie has allowed like 5 catches all season, going against shut down Chase last week, and he shut down Zay Flowers the week prior. So, yeah, if Keenan Allen plays based on target-wise, I'd give it slightly edge to Keenan Allen, but let's just say wash here. Then Josh Jacobs versus Tony Pollard. So you got the Tennessee versus Green Bay matchup here. Give me Josh Jacobs. As long as Malik Willis is there, I'm going Josh Jacobs all day long. Although Tony Pollard's been key. He's been really solid, but Josh Jacobs getting 25 carries a game, looking great in that offense, even with Malik Willis. So matchup proof with Josh Jacobs based on volume. But Tony Pollard has been looked good, but I'm going to give a slight edge to Josh Jacobs. Dallas Goedert versus Kyle Pitts. I'm going to go Kyle Pitts here. The Chiefs cannot cover tight ends to save their lives. Kyle Pitts is a really athletic tight end, and we had trouble against those type of guys. So give me Kyle Pitts. Adam wins this one. So Kyle Pitts goes to Adam. David Montgomery against Arizona. Chase Brown versus Washington. Give me David Montgomery. Chase Brown barely gets any playing time. It's not even, it's pretty crazy how much playing time he doesn't get. So give me David Montgomery. I knew it when he drafted Chase Brown. I was like, dude, Zach Moss is out there. What are you doing? But David Montgomery over Chase Brown. Carson Steele, the guy for the Chiefs this week against Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is still out of practice. Missed last week's game with an oblique. He's had the oblique injury, hip injury kind of thing for the last 2 years. Not good. I'm going to go Carson Steele against Atlanta volume-wise. I think he's the guy over there. And I spent a lot of money to get him. Joe Mixon, who's been out. So if Joe Mixon doesn't play, I got Cam Akers, who's going to be the starting back this week if Joe Mixon is out. Against Jaleel McLuhan. I mean, Jaleel McLuhan, yeah, a third down back over there. He has a 6 over 2 weeks. He's got 13 carries over the last 2 games. Yeah, I'm going to go Cam Akers. I think Cam Akers, based on volume, will do better, especially in that offense that Houston has, will do better than Jaleel McLuhan. So give me a really, really terrible game, barn burner. We're talking, I mean, see the projected score right now is 111 to 108. That's really bad. So give me, I'm going to go slightly above that. So give me 117 to 108. I take a 9-point win here. I stay in the win column, hopefully. Knock on wood. Knock on wood here. So yeah, I'll take the dub in this one. All right, guys. So next one we got, okay, so we did that one. Oh, no, we didn't do that one. We did not do this. The last match we have here. So we got the 10-11 matchup. We have the Cobb game. So Cobb's going against in my Cobb era. So we got ZT versus Cobb. 2 guys who've I've been on the horn with a lot over the last few weeks. And yeah, these guys, let's just say these guys are not having the best fantasy years. I'm upset because of my injuries, but these guys are just not 0-4 between the 2 of these guys. So that tells you a lot about these guys right here. These guys are 0-4 in fantasy, and they're losing a bit in reality too, but I won't get into that. Okay, so Joe Burrow for Cobb against Lamar Jackson. Joe Burrow, Washington. I think Joe Burrow has to dominate the Redskins. Their defense is made Daniel Jones look good against them. Baker Mayfield look good against them. Lamar Jackson. Although Lamar, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think about Lamar. Yeah, they play against the Raiders last week. I guess at 18, and it's like, how? He's just so not impressive. Joe Burrow had 21 against the Chiefs last week. Chiefs has a really amazing defense comparatively to Dallas. So I'm going to give Joe Burrow. We're talking about Washington Commanders Monday night, and, you know, I love the Monday night comeback. So if it has to be a Monday night comeback and he's got Joe Burrow in his squad, I like Cobb to come back with that. So, yeah, let's go with that. Cobb in that one. So then we got Garrett Wilson tonight against the New England Patriots versus Amon-Ra St. Brown against the Cardinals. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson here. We saw JSN dominate last week. Garrett Wilson, JSN, very similar look, very similar guys, both Ohio State guys too. But yeah, I like Garrett Wilson. Amon-Ra just hasn't done it for me yet. The guy, every time a guy catches the ball, he gets up like gimpy, and it's like, okay, let's take a back seat here. Arizona's defense has been great. I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson in this one in tonight's matchup. All right, so Bijan Robinson versus Jahmyr Gibbs. Give me Bijan Robinson. I think the Chiefs have a hard time against tight ends and running backs out of the backfield. Bijan is the leading receiver in Atlanta, and I think Bijan, whether he may not do shit on the ground, I think he'll dominate out of the air. So I think we're looking at like a 6 catch for like 55-yard kind of game from Bijan out of the backfield. Jahmyr Gibbs, man, pretty underwhelming. I didn't like the keep. And he's got 16 both weeks, but we all know the main guy in that backfield is David Montgomery, and they're going to start getting to the ground and pound with my guy, David Montgomery. So give me that on that matchup. Then we got Washington, Zach Ertz against Cincinnati, and Travis Kelce versus Atlanta. Give me Travis Kelce in this matchup. I think the Chiefs will go back, like I said, with Rashee Rice earlier. I think the Chiefs are going to go with a big-time passing attack without Pacheco. And I think we're going to be using the short game to mimic the run a little bit that we're losing out with Pacheco. So you're going to see a lot of short passes to Rashee Rice, a lot of short passes to Kelce. So I think Kelce gets a good game. We're going to see a vintage Kelce performance this week. Give me Kelce in that one. Zay Flowers against Dallas and Brandon Ayuk against the Rams. Give me Brandon Ayuk against the Rams. The Rams proved last week they cannot cover any receivers. That back half of that secondary for the Rams is really bad, depleted injury-wise. I love Brandon Ayuk in this spot to do kind of what Marvin Harrison did. So give me Brandon Ayuk in that one. Ramondre Stevenson against Najee Harris. Give me Ramondre Stevenson. Jets can't stop a run to save their life at all. Tony Pollard dominated them the week before that. Who the Jets play week 1? Oh, man. Totally forgot the Jets played week 1. But they got dominated on the ground in that game. Oh, yeah, it was Mason. Jordan Mason has come out party against them. Yeah, Jordan Mason dominated them. Ramondre Stevenson, he's had 60 yards in every game so far this year on the ground. And I think that continues against this really shitty defense that we have in New York. And I'm not buying Najee Harris. I'm not buying the Steelers. So just forget about Najee Harris. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., I think that continues what we saw last week with what he did against the Rams defense. We're going to see Marvin Harrison Jr. continue against the Detroit defense, which can stop Chris Godwin last week. They did stop Mike Evans. I will say that. They stopped Mike Evans. Marvin Harrison probably looks more of like a Mike Evans, but the way they're using Marvin Harrison all over the field, slot, outside, that's more like a Godwin kind of usage. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. has a huge week, and Brian Robinson Jr. for CT. What are we talking about here? So, long story short, M.I. Cobb era continues to go 0-3. So, M.I. Cobb era is really – this era is not a good version of a Cobb. Let's just put it that way. But this is not a good era of ZT, even though this is M.I. Cobb era of ZT's team. So, give me Ryan Cobb in this one to win 1 and 2. He's going to go to 1 and 2. And I think the score in this match is going to be 1 – I think Cobb has a blow-up week. I think so. Let's go 145 to Cobb and go 127 ZT. So Cobb wins this one, and Cobb gets in the win column for the first time this year. So really happy about that. Okay, guys, so now we're going to go to my favorite part of the show. I think everyone's favorite part of the show is Pancake King, and that's presented by IHOP, home of the stack. You heard me talking about Trip Stack, Roden's squad is the Trip Stack with Keon Coleman, Josh Allen, and I love stacks. I love triple stacks especially. So when you get triple stack, make sure it's a good one because you're not getting triple stacks every weekend, right? Only once in a while. But if you are going to get a triple stack, you're not going to draft it. But you go to IHOP to get one. So IHOP, home of the stack. Enjoy. All right, so now we're going to go to the Pancake King rankings. So let's begin. We're just going to start from 7, and obviously when we get to the 12, that's the Pancake King. So 7, my Pancake King, or not my Pancake King, to start the Pancake King rankings in my 7th spot is myself. Deebo Samuel, Hollywood Brown, so 2 of my keepers. One I probably will never get to see. I will never get to see Hollywood Brown in my lineup, and I traded 4th round pick for him, so that really hurts. I really can't do much about that one. And I can't cut him either because I don't want someone to get him as a 10th round tender, so I have to keep him. So that hurts. Deebo Samuel's out for a couple of weeks. Joe Mixon probably out for a couple of weeks, maybe 1 week, hopefully. Jordan Addison's probably out. Keenan Allen's probably out. So my whole team is out, and it really fucking sucks. Luckily, I have a win. Luckily, my team isn't bad. I have a lot of good pieces around that, so I can try to navigate as we go here. But I need to pull out some wins. But I don't like my team right now. The state of my team right now is really bad. I try to add some IR spots to the whole league this week, and I got some pushback, and that wasn't fair because a lot of people are going through the injury bug right now. It's the worst they've ever seen it. Plenty of experts have talked about how bad the injury bug is, and it's only going to get worse. 3 preseason games. A lot of these guys aren't playing in these preseason games at all. You're not even seeing stars play anymore. So when you get to week 1 and 2, you're seeing those injuries happen. Calf strains, hammy pulls, oblique injuries. So not good. So we're going to review that in the offseason to add a roster spot, maybe add an IR spot or 2 because this isn't cool. We're seeing a lot of injuries. We saw them last year. It's only getting worse when you see more and more teams not playing in preseason. But right now, I don't like where my team is. I don't like the way Mahomes is playing. Hopefully, with Al Pacheco, we may see some more some passes and a little vintage Mahomes action. But I don't like that team. I like 6 other teams more than my team right now where we stand. So that's on the 7th spot. My next one, Cobb, 0-2, and he hasn't been able to figure out his quarterback spot. Every week he goes Burrow, he shits. Tua, he's awful, and then he's going back to Burrow. Hopefully good against Commanders this week. The quarterback, when you can't get the quarterback situation right, it's not good. And we've seen that Cobb for the last 2 years kind of flutter in that. He hasn't been able to get the quarterback situation right. And until he gets that right, I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at here. But with T. Higgins coming back, he should be on the come up. His tight end situation is really bad without Evan Ingram. He's got Zach Ertz in there. I don't really know much what's going to happen with that. Marvin Harrison Jr. looks good, so there you go. Some bright spots. Zay Flowers, meh. I'm not really buying that right now. So not a lot to love there with his team, but I could see him, once Evan Ingram comes back, if Joe Burrow starts playing up to par, we might have something cooking here with a team that should be in the playoffs. So I have Cobb my 8th spot. My other spot, I have Z Tizzle, where I think he's going to lose again this week, so I think he's going to go to 0-3. It's a team that, doesn't really flash. You got Najee Harris, Brian Robinson starting in your lineup. It's like, okay. Brandon Ayuk should start to pop off. That Debo and CMC are out. We'll see. He might get more. He might demand more of coverage and more attention. I don't know. Lamar Jackson's not Lamar Jackson. Amon-Ra St. Brown's been up and down. Jahmyr Gibbs has been pretty average being a first-round pick. Travis Kelce has not lived up to being a first-round pick either. But, again, with Pacheco being out, that could happen. But the depth in this team is pretty subpar as well. You got Javonte Williams, Deontay Johnson, Khalil Shakir. It's really top to bottom. It's not really the best team. It's not one of his best teams he's fielded. He's had better teams that didn't make the playoffs. And this is not looking good for ZT as of right now. And I think he's going to go to 0-3. So things are not, he's seen better days. Let me put it that way. So ZT is my 9th spot. My 10th spot. Now this is where I didn't know where to go here. I'm going to go Hotch here. I still don't know what he's doing. I know he's 2-0 right now, and he's changed his team name to What Is Hotch Doing, and I don't know what he's doing. I still have no idea what he's doing. But when you're led with Caleb Williams, who's looked like dog shit, when you're led by when you have Jalen Waddle, who has got Skylar Thompson for the rest of the year, that's pretty bad. You're starting running back as a backup running back. Like, it's one thing to have a third down back, but you have a backup running back as your starting guy, which that's fine with 5 points here, 6 points there. It's not the best. Brock Bowers looked great. CeeDee Lamb, awesome. JSN starting to come into his own. Jamar Chase, this contract thing is weighing on him big time, and I don't know when that's going to be solved, to be quite honest with you, because it's eating at him where he's getting arguments with the referees and stuff. So I don't like what he's got going on. And when you're led by a quarterback who's not getting you anything, and Jalen Waddle's got Skylar Thompson and Bucky Irving, this is a team that's like, yeah, he's pulled off some wins, so I'll give him that. But this is a 10 spot for me. I had him as a tomato pancaking last week, but he won again, and he got Jamar Chase this week. So he got better, but he still has a lot of problems on the team. So give me Hotch at 10. My 11 was Adam, as the reasons I mentioned before. The injuries, man. A.J. Brown out for the foreseeable future. CMC out for the foreseeable future. He's 0-2. He doesn't have a win yet. Yeah, I mean, and he's starting right now. I mean, Kenneth Walker could be out, so he's looking at, Jaleel McLuhan starting, Chase Brown. I will say the Iosavis, the Bengals receiver, can't pronounce his name, it was a solid start for him. But when you have Drake London and Kyle Pitts, who have been kind of not that good this year, I would say it's not the best. Your starting line is pretty rough, and with the injuries you have, I don't know if you can overcome it. I said it all along. Adam is very reliant on CMC, and we're really seeing it. It's unfortunate, but we're seeing it right now. And you can make the argument that I'm really relying on Mahomes when Mahomes isn't producing. I'm not producing. So I understand that. I really understand that. So my last, so now we're getting to the Pancake King. So my Pancake King for week 3 is after this message.
You are the Pancake King, young and sweethearting fan of thieves. Ooh, see that boy, watch that taste, dig in the Pancake King.
I love that tune, guys. I say it every week. I love that tune. And when the off season comes, you guys all always miss that. For a whole year, for half the year, you guys don't hear that song. And we're lucky we get to hear it weekly on this amazing broadcast that we have. So the Pancake King this week, you probably would have guessed it based on my assessment earlier when I was going over his team, was my guy Roden. Roden, I said it. He needs to change his team name. Tutu Scoot needs to get Scoot Allen out of here. He doesn't have him on his team. But let's just go to starting lineup. DeAndre Swift is awful. Dalton Kincaid has not lived up to the hype that Hotch gave him. So again, needs to stop listening to certain people out there. Yeah, 5-time champ, but dude, your advice is not good. Okay. Sorry, it's what it is. Keon Coleman has not been good. Malik Neighbors is great, but Keon Coleman, Demarcus Robinson, DeAndre Swift, those are 3 guys in his lineup right now. Those guys probably aren't like started. Was it Demarcus Robinson started? It's 20% of the being started by 20% of teams in Yahoo. Keon Coleman's being started by 10% of teams in Yahoo. That's pretty rough. DeAndre Swift is being started by 41% of teams. That's kind of crazy, actually. And then Dalton Kincaid has not panned out. I will say this: Roden has a solid core with Josh Allen, Nico Collins. Those are 2 guys he needs to keep. Outside of that, I don't know what he's going to do next year. You can't keep Malik Neighbors in the first round. You just can't do it. But he just needs to stop listening to Hotch. Stop taking these trades from Hotch. Stop getting guys from Hotch and trading those guys back to Hotch. Don't know what he's doing. I really don't. And when you're starting Demarcus Robinson, you're starting Keon Coleman, and you're starting DeAndre Swift, I mean, you should have better options than some of these guys. And he doesn't. And right now he's sitting at 0-2. He's probably going to go 0-3 this week. Actually, I think I had him winning his matchup. No, I had him losing his matchup. So no, he's going to go 0-3. And it's like, we're looking at Pancake King, and we've seen him. He's been the Pancake King before. He didn't like it. So hopefully, he can find a way to get out of this at some point, roll off some wins. But right now he's completely reliant on Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid coming to life. And if that duo has a good week together, where Josh Allen throws 2 touchdowns to him, that's going to be huge. He'll probably win that week. But you're relying on that. This team's not going anywhere, and it's not going anywhere fast. So Roden is my Pancake King. Unfortunately, I didn't want to put him there, but I had to. I really had to do it. So love you, Roden. We have a safe flight, buddy. All right. So now we're getting to the final topic of the show, and that is Barry's Motivational Squeeze. This is the part of the show where I give motivation to one lucky owner in this league. So here is my motivational squeeze for this week.
This is why you're fucking holding back, and I'm tired of the BS.
Another video that I love to see. Fantasy season comes. That video is fantastic. So my motivational squeeze, I'm going to go a little different route here, is to ZB, who took over a team that wasn't the best. Didn't really do a lot of moves. I think it was Ruben's team. Didn't really do much. And he took over a squad, and, a lot of people said, oh, yeah, it doesn't have that home run hitting potential. And it really doesn't. It doesn't. But top to bottom, it's a really good squad. So my motivation is, the only really spot that he's lacking is the starting quarterback spot. We saw him get a 6 last week from Stafford, but yet he's still real level 137. You give him just a solid 20 from his quarterback. The guy is getting like 151, competing for the high score of the week. So my motivation would be, try to do what you got to do. Go find a quarterback. Trade your picks. I know you don't like trading your picks. Like holding the assets. Dude, someone in the league will trade you one of their quarterbacks for a top 5-round pick. I have one on my bench right now who's pretty solid, I must say, Baker Mayfield. If you throw me a 4th-round pick, he's all yours. Maybe. We'll see how Mahomes does this week. But there's guys in the league who are willing to trade their quarterbacks. A lot of guys have solid quarterbacks in their team. And right now, you're rolling out guys who just aren't it. I mean, Darnold could be key this week. We'll see. But you're literally a quarterback away from being a legit team in this league. Right now, you're out of the playoffs a little bit. But according to my rankings, I have you in. I think you're a top 6 team. You just need a quarterback. So my motivation here is go get yourself a quarterback and you can vie for a championship this year. This year is wide open because of the injuries that are out there right now and so many guys are being hurt. If you're one of those teams that's lucky that has not hit the injury bug, you are in good shape, my friend. So ZB, go get yourself a quarterback. Let's see what you can do with a top flight quarterback in this league. And I think we're looking at a potential team that can make a play for the championship. With your roster, how good it is, I think it's time for ZB to do his thing. So ZB, if you're listening to this, buddy, I know you want me to do the preview this week because we weren't going to do it because Cobb was out of town and Alex couldn't do it. But if you're watching, my motivation to you is trade a pick next year. We have a couple more weeks before you can do that. Trade your pick next year to get yourself a quarterback so we can start talking about ZB being in the championship conversation, being a contender. Because right now, you're not a contender. You're a playoff team, but you'll be a contender if you get a quarterback. So go do what you got to do. Trade some assets for next year to get a quarterback this year. And that's it. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the one-man show of today's Cobb and Dash show. We'll be back here next week with Cobb, myself, and Alex previewing week 4 of the Basement League season. So, hope you guys enjoy the games this weekend. Hope you guys enjoy the games tonight. And I'll see some of you guys at ball tonight. And I'll be posting my chug with Yaglu. And Hosh, we want your chug on the Facebook page tonight as well. So, I'll be posting that later on the Facebook page. So, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.